I grew up in a pretty tough environment, and there was a lot of suffering involved. And because I know what suffering is, I hate to see anybody suffer, and especially these days with COVID, with families, spread apart, elderly people not being with their grandchildren. It just makes me crazy. So anything I can do to make a difference drives me, but also what drives me is seeing the impact, seeing people reclaim themselves. I mean, right now it's very easy to let the environment start to make you believe that this is going to be horrible forever in the world as you know it's over. If you watch CNN or any news over and over again, you want to cut your own throat. In fact, I read yesterday in San Francisco, 3 times as many people have died of overdoses in the last 9 months than have died of COVID. Like, we're not understanding the impact. So I'm constantly looking to see how we can break the impact. So I have large goals. I have the stuff day to day that touches me. A friend calls me yesterday and tells me he's 48 years old. He got a divorce. His 16-year-old daughter doesn't want to talk to him. I can't just go do this. I spend 45 minutes or an hour, and I love that. And then I get an email from 5 vets today. I work with a lot of veterans, and I don't know if you guys know it, but 12 veterans kill themselves every day on average. Suicide's insane. What they've been through, and we just discard them. So I know how to help, but shit I could do all day, every day. I couldn't reach them all. So I found a doctor that has developed this shot that literally gets rid of PTSD. It's been proven for 10 years. It's 92% effective. So I funded it. So I got 100 vets now, and these guys are writing me these letters telling me that, they couldn't be with their children. They tried suicide twice. Fortunately, they failed. And now, literally a couple hours later, their head is clear. The world is color again. They're going to be with their children. I'm providing 100 million meals a year. I've been doing that. I set a goal to feed 1 billion people in the US, and I was going to do it in less than 10 years, and we're at 700 million in 6 years. So I'm closing in on that. But my birthday party last year, I didn't want to party with a purpose I was into. So I convinced everybody, you're going to throw a party, then we got to do it to really raise money. And we did for Underground Railroad, and we raised, 14 million. I added another 5 million. So we raised $19 million, just saving 25,000 kids from slavery. And so that kind of stuff, how could you not be inspired when you're seeing people eat again, when you're seeing people be free, when you're providing surgeries for, 100 kids last year that were blinded who can now see. So I get the juice from the big things, and I get the juice from the individual things. But for me, it's about impact. If you can have impact, then your life is meaningful. Your life isn't going to be happy every moment. That's bullshit. But it can be meaningful every moment, and that's your job. It's our job to find a deeper meaning. And I think that meaning comes, and the energy of life comes, when you're not just trying to serve yourself. I think, unfortunately, for so many of us, social media and technology has started to shape us instead of us shaping it. It's using us. And the way it's using us is it's making us selfish. I mean, you see people banging on their phone, give it a moment, it's going to a satellite, give it a second, you jerk, or you turn around and you see people they expect everything to be given to them the moment they push a button, and humans don't work that way. And so it's made us that, along with, I'm sure you guys have seen The Social Network, the
Sure.
Social Dilemma, I should
Dilemma,
say.
yeah.
Social Dilemma. And you just see how we've been wired to be separate from each other, we're wired to stay online, wired to be aggravated all the time. So to me, it's a really important time for human beings to remember that, listen, there are things you obviously can't control, but there are plenty of things you can control. You can influence most things, but you can completely control your experience of life. And we forget that when every day you turn on the news or it follows you in your pocket and keeps telling you the worst scenario. I mean, people think that things are going to be good forever when it's going great. And that's total bullshit. Life is cyclical, right? There's always a new challenge or problem, and you become better if you face it. But also when things are going terrible, they think it's going to go terrible forever, and it's bullshit. We're in winter. It's going to be a longer winter than I want and you probably want. There are going to be people 5 years from now still wearing a mask in their mind because it's kind of like the Depression generation. They're going to overreact, but there's also going to be so many new opportunities. So winter's followed by spring, baby. The darkest nights always followed by the day, and that's trite sounding, but it's effing true. So it's we need to take control. So what gives me excitement is seeing people take back control of their life and not fall into the trap of being a robot or fitting into everybody else's plans.